Hi, this is Jean-Luc Boissneau from Freeform Fitness. I'm here talking with Dr. Joël Villeneuve from OptiHealth, and we're going to talk about hormones today because you've seen that I've talked a little bit about hormones, but she's the real expert in hormones. So we're going to start by saying, what do hormones do?
Okay, so hormones are messengers in our body, and they help one organ talk to another organ. And there's different layers of organ systems that exist in our body. It's like a car or an automobile, and how you have the engine talk to the steering wheel, talk to the horn or the radio. I mean, everything's all interconnected, but you need a system to talk to each other.
Okay, so it's something that's quite important?
Absolutely.
Okay. And so what do you typically see in your practice when people come in and they have some kind of hormone imbalance?
Okay, so if we're talking about females, the main issue that typically occurs is that in our modern day society, the way hormones are broken down and conjugated is through the liver. But as you know, we're exposed to lots of things in our environment, so our liver has a heavier load. It can't work as well as it typically does, so our hormones aren't often broken down as well as they should. What that in the end means is that there's quite often higher levels of estrogen relative to progesterone for females.
For females.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we start thinking about what is that connected to? Well, that's increased risk of uterine cancer, fibrocystic breast, breast cancer, etc. And just simply PMS too.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms that are kind of really obvious?
Yeah, related to high levels of estrogen, what would typically tend to happen is women would get a lot of PMS symptoms. They might notice a cystic kind of breast. They might be very irritable.
Okay.
Sugar cravings, changes in body temperature, fatigue, lethargy, those kinds of things are quite typical.
Okay. And what are some of the things that they could do that would kind of help them right off the bat?
Okay, so
something small.
Yeah, okay, so the adrenal gland is fueled from different types of nutrients, and the adrenal gland really needs a high dose of B vitamins in order to function really well. So you could just take an extra amount of B vitamins, 50 to 100 milligrams a day, would be so helpful at keeping your hormones balanced and your energy even.
Okay. And what about sleep? I know a lot of women in their late 40s start I'm seeing a lot at the gym that they're having trouble sleeping.
Yes.
What are some of does that relate to hormones?
Yes, definitely, because your sleep is managed by cortisol levels, and cortisol levels come from your adrenal glands. So again, if you're under a great deal of stress, your body pumps out too much cortisol, and it remains high for a long period of time, and so typically when it should fall off getting you ready for good sleep, it remains too high, and people have issues sleeping.
No, and is sleep is where we recover.
Exactly, because we've got two parts of our nervous system, the sympathetic, the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is your states of energy, the parasympathetic is your states of regeneration. If you don't get enough sleep, then you don't have enough fuel to fuel the sympathetic, your states of energy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And what about men? What do you notice in
Great. I'm so glad you asked, because I'm thinking in the back of my head, I've got to talk about men.
Yeah.
So typically, what some men don't realize is that the male hormones, or male andropause, starts occurring at about age 30. So we start to see a fall off of male hormones at age 30, which impacts a person's ability to focus, concentrate, their strength, their ability to have long endurance, all kinds of things in their health.
Okay, so that could explain them having trouble with, getting the energy at work and being more productive.
Exactly. And as those hormones fall off, it changes the body composition. So instead of having more lean muscle mass, it transfers, and your percentage body composition definitely increases because of that as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
You hear that? That's
Yeah.
very important. So what would a male typically do to increase testosterone?
Okay. So again, the testosterone comes from, a good source of it comes from the production of the adrenal gland. So if you keep that adrenal gland nice and strong, you have a higher potential of maximizing the hormones that can be produced. So there are, again, B vitamins are really, really important. Keeping your blood sugar really even, so eating 6 small meals throughout the day. Those are 2 tips that would be really great.
Great. Okay, perfect. Thanks.